Cuba liberated, Russia breaks the United States blockade. In a historic event, Russia ends the blockade against Cuba. The United States did not expect this masterstroke from Vladimir Putin and his government. Havana celebrates this international action taken by the Russian government. Russia has made a strategic move that is altering the global landscape. Its cooperation with Cuba is helping the island overcome the economic blockade that the United States has maintained for decades. This act, which many consider a masterstroke by Vladimir Putin, is providing Cuba with a new way to access essential goods, strengthening its economy and challenging Washington's dominance in the region. The cooperation between Russia and Cuba comes at a critical time. The island has faced an unprecedented economic crisis, marked by shortages of food, medicine, and basic products. For years, the U.S. blockade has hindered international trade, restricting the entry of essential goods and resources. For the first time in a long time, Cuban market shelves are starting to fill up with products like meat, dairy, and other foods that were previously almost impossible to find. This flow of goods is not only a relief for the Cuban population, who have lived through years of hardship, but also a strong signal that the U.S. blockade can be overcome through international cooperation. Russia is not only exporting food to Cuba, it is helping the island regain its economic dignity and resist a sanctions system that has sought to stifle its development. One of the most significant achievements of this collaboration was the approval of the Russian Sanitary control system by the Cuban National Center for Animal Health. This step allowed Russian companies registered on export platforms like BTS and Server to start shipping essential products without facing additional barriers. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle is now a bridge connecting Cuba to a constant supply of food and basic goods, something that directly impacts the quality of life of its population. The arrival of Russian products is not limited to meeting immediate needs. It represents an act of resistance against the restrictions imposed by the United States and its allies. For decades, the blockade has not only limited Cuba's economic development, but has also been a tool of political pressure. However, cooperation with Russia is offering the island a viable alternative to circumvent these restrictions, demonstrating that international solidarity can overcome even the strictest isolation policies. From a geopolitical perspective, this alliance also has profound implications. By providing Cuba with an economic outlet, Russia is consolidating its influence in the Caribbean and directly challenging the hegemony of the United States in its traditional sphere of influence. This move not only benefits Havana, but also sends a clear message to the world. Moscow is willing to act as a counterweight to Western sanctions policies, offering support to countries that have been marginalized by the global economic system. Cuba's entry as an associate member of the BRICS bloc further reinforces this dynamic. Through its participation in this group, which includes emerging powers like China, Brazil, South Africa, and Russia, Cuba is accessing new markets and sources of financing. BRICS not only opens doors to key investments, but also offers Cuba the possibility of reducing its dependence on the US dollar, a crucial aspect for freeing its economy from the restrictions imposed by the blockade. This strategic approach is allowing Cuba to diversify its trade relations and reduce its vulnerability to Western policies. Since the protests of 2021, when thousands of Cubans took to the streets to express their frustration over the economic crisis, the government has intensified its efforts to guarantee a constant flow of food and essential goods. Russia has been a key partner in this mission, and the results are starting to be evident in the daily lives of Cubans. The collaboration between Russia and Cuba is not limited to economics. It is also a symbol of political resistance. By breaking with the restrictions imposed by the United States, Cuba is demonstrating that it is possible to build an alternative system of cooperation based on solidarity and mutual respect. This model not only benefits the island, but also serves as inspiration for other Latin American nations facing similar challenges due to the hegemonic policies of the West. The impact of this alliance extends beyond Cuba's borders. By challenging the blockade, Russia is altering the power dynamics in the Caribbean and sending a clear message to Washington. Sanctions and blockades are no longer foolproof tools to control other nations. This paradigm shift could influence how other countries affected by sanctions, such as Venezuela and Iran, seek alternatives to strengthen their economies and ensure the well-being of their citizens. From a social standpoint, the improvement in the supply of food and basic goods is transforming the lives of millions of Cubans. Products that were once an unattainable luxury, such as meat and dairy, are now available thanks to trade agreements with Russia. This new reality not only eases the daily burden on the population, but also restores hope to a nation that has struggled for decades against the hardships imposed by the blockade. In broader terms, the cooperation between Russia and Cuba is a reminder of the power of international solidarity. In an increasingly interconnected world, Alliances based on principles of mutual respect and reciprocal aid can offer effective solutions to complex problems. The relationship between these two countries is not just a trade agreement, but a declaration that it is possible to challenge the norms established by traditional powers and build a more just and equitable system. As Cuba solidifies its position on the global stage, its historic entry into the BRICS alliance marks a pivotal moment in its history. The path to joining this powerful bloc, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, began with strategic diplomatic efforts and a shared vision of a multipolar world. Cuba's inclusion in BRICS is not only a testament to its resilience, but also a recognition of its potential to contribute to the global economy. By joining this alliance, Cuba gains access to new markets, diversified trade opportunities, and increased investment in critical sectors such as health, technology, and infrastructure. The benefits for Cuba are manifold. Economically, it will benefit from the BRICS Bank, which offers financial support for development projects. Politically, it strengthens its position by aligning with nations that advocate for a more balanced and equitable global order. Socially, the alliance promises advances in education, health, and social welfare through collaborative initiatives. Geopolitically, Cuba's entry into BRICS signifies a shift in the power dynamics of the Western Hemisphere. It challenges the long-standing dominance of traditional powers and offers a new model of cooperation based on mutual respect and shared growth. This move also signals to other nations under economic pressure that alternative alliances are possible and viable. In essence, Cuba's BRICS membership is more than just an economic improvement. It is a beacon of hope for nations seeking to break free from hegemonic limitations and build a future based on solidarity and mutual prosperity. As Cuba embarks on its journey within the BRICS alliance, the implications for its future are profound. This new chapter opens doors to unprecedented opportunities and collaborations. Economically, Cuba can benefit from increased foreign investments and access to cutting-edge technologies, boosting growth in sectors like health, education, and infrastructure. This also means more jobs and better living standards for its citizens. Politically, Cuba's alignment with the BRICS nations strengthens its voice on the global stage, advocating for a more equitable world order. The alliance fosters a sense of solidarity and mutual support among member countries, creating a robust network to counter external pressures and sanctions. Socially, the exchange of knowledge and cultural ties within BRICS will enrich Cuban society, promoting innovation and progress. This collaboration also brings hope for advancements in social welfare programs, benefiting the most vulnerable populations. The future prospects for Cuba within BRICS are bright, symbolizing a significant shift towards a more diversified and resilient economy. As the island nation integrates further into this powerful bloc, it not only secures its own development, but also inspires other countries to explore new avenues for growth and cooperation. Cuba's journey with BRICS is just beginning, paving the way for a prosperous and interconnected future. In conclusion, Russia's role in Cuba's economic liberation not only represents a significant change for the island, but also challenges traditional power dynamics on the international stage. This joint effort demonstrates that even in a world dominated by great powers, nations can find ways to resist and prosper through cooperation and solidarity. By forging this alliance with Russia and BRICS, Cuba is building a more autonomous, resilient, and hopeful future, setting an example for other countries seeking to overcome the hardships imposed by the current global system.